All right, we starting it. We got it.
Yeah.
Episode 2. What We Know podcast. Goddamn Rob. What We Know podcast. Hold on. Wait a minute now. Goddamn Rob. We're live. So again, we're back with another episode of What We Know.
We know.
Episode number 2.
Number 2.
So we going in. This is going to be a breakdown of the 2019 Revolt Summit. Man, I hope we don't get flagged right here. But we saw this video earlier today, and we wanted to do a breakdown on this. And that video actually, it had Killer Mike on there. It was with Candace Owens. It was also with Tyte. And what we got going on?
Oh.
No, I got it there. We about to go on back.
Oh, okay.
It was with Tyte, and a couple of other people that was on here. Who was the other chick? The one with the terrible weed.
I don't want to say her name.
All right, they'll be able to see it.
I want to say Tamaya Harris. I don't want to say.
Tamika Harris. Tamika Harris, yeah. And this was I thought this was way later than 2019, man.
Bro, this is 2019, bro.
I'm like, damn, I'm thinking it was like 2017, 2000. It was right before so that was a couple of months before the pandemic then.
Yeah, bro.
The plandemic. It was an interesting forum, but I gotta say, I'm gonna tell you right now, I didn't like how they did that forum.
Yeah,
I couldn't take it because you just had, and you guys were here.
Candace Owens. Candace Owens.
Who the hell is Parker?
The basketball player.
Oh, Candace Parker, the one you just showed me.
Candace Parker, the GOAT.
Yeah.
No, Candace Owens, guilty. And Killer Mike.
Yeah, Killer Mike did some things. I just didn't like the crowd participation. I didn't like on there, and I definitely didn't like those people that they had asking questions. They had everybody that was like in the, either in the entertainment industry or they were prominent people that they all knew already. They didn't get nobody that none of them knew. So
Yeah. And I know, people probably, sitting there, well, why y'all reacting to something in 2019? Well, they talking about current times right now. And this was the time when Trump was in office. And, we're going to see how much improvement
and that we made crazy
since then. So that's why we reacting to it.
But that's really crazy about the whole thing with Trump anyway. Let me make sure we have some. Let me go back here. When you had all the things that they were saying about Trump, it's happening now with Biden.
Right.
All of the things,
and
you hear
crickets right now.
You don't hear nobody saying nothing. That's really strange. I don't hear anybody saying anything about what's really going on. All you got people doing is being scared about taking the jab.
Because you know what? Because they got what they wanted. Trump is out. I used to ask people all the time, what was your reason why? And I'm not no Trump supporter. I'm saying we not. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to say I'm the biggest Trump supporter and shit like that. But I used to ask people, okay, so why you don't want Trump to win president? Well, he's a racist. Well, pretty much all the presidents been racist, in a way. Biden, I feel like, is more racist, He actually got laws out there that affect black people. So,
man, I don't care who's racist, really, to tell you the truth. I don't I don't care anything about if a person's racist or anything. All I care about is if we as people in America can stop being so blinded by fear, anger, and we keep feeding everybody. I mean, everybody keeps feeding us lies and we take it, but then later on in life, what do we say? They fooled us as if somebody owes us,
you're exactly, yeah.
To be truthful or anything. That's why we have to be more vigilant. We have to be smarter. We have to start reading things and not taking what people tell us for granted. We should be able, when somebody is telling you, for instance, if you have a candidate that you're going to vote for, if you have somebody, it don't even have to be politically. It could be in a company or whatever. You actually have to vet them. You can't just believe what they tell you, and you got to hold them to a certain standard. So when people talk about, well, I don't like this person because they're racist, or it's so
yeah, like what? Okay, what else can they do? Like, just because I don't like you personally doesn't mean you're not the right person for the job. Like,
yeah, you have to be. I believe in allyship. A person that you have to use them for what they can actually do for you, so you can be able to advance.
Yeah,
that's what I look at. But a lot of people don't. They don't look at it that way.
Oh, man.
And on this summit that they had, man, it was crazy because you hear, and you guys will hear it. You will hear when these folks on here, specifically T.I., Mike, he was doing this thing. Killer Mike actually, he was saying something that has some meat to it. But when I look at someone like T.I., rap, man, I get I get you trying to be involved and you want to be what they call an activist or whatever. I don't know if he even consider himself an activist.
Yeah.
But he's taking on that role.
Yeah.
And I have no problem with the man speaking up because that's what we have to do. We got to start from somewhere. But man, when you hear this guy bring up certain points and he asks certain things, it just gets to a point where you like, nah, man, you got to do your homework a little bit more.
Yeah.
So I didn't
Especially
really
you're gonna be
this.
on this type of stage. You know what I'm saying? You trying to debate like somebody like Candace Owens, you know what I'm saying, who actually like, you know what I'm saying, being who actually is like in these rooms, you know what I'm saying, in these courtrooms, you know what I'm saying, speaking like what black people need, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? She have debates all the time with politicians. So you really got to come with your facts, not your feelings. And I feel like T.I. and a few other people on this panel came on this platform.
I don't believe
what they feelings. You know,
I don't believe he belonged on that platform, man.
No, I mean, yeah.
I
not
don't
on this
he,
issue, like not on this issue right here.
And for the people that's going to be watching this video, or the people that are watching, I don't think we got nobody watching it right now. But
it's late as hell.
Yeah. But for the folks that will be watching this video, because this will be on the playback, you guys look at this and you really think about what these folks are saying. Were they saying anything? And if so, put it in a comment. Let me know how you guys feel about when you watch this video. Let me know how y'all feel about what you hear these folks on this platform talking about. It's like I said, myself, my personal evaluation of it was that it didn't have any meat to it. You know what I'm saying? It really didn't have any meat to it.
Yeah.
But, and before we get this video started, first and foremost, again, this is the What We Know platform podcast.
What We Know.
With your homeboy DJ Jig, Tyte, and your boy Rob. Shit.
Boy Rob.
Big Rob. Shit. Just Rob.
Just Rob.
That's going to be your name then. Just Rob.
I've been in the gym, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to put my shit together. Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? So y'all gonna see. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna talk about it. I'm just gonna tell motherfucker.
Yeah. And also, whenever you get a chance, you watch this video, man, please like the video.
Yeah, like, comment,
Please,
share, man.
like, we're trying to get our likes up. We're trying to get and subscribe.
And
Definitely subscribe.
Hey, shout out to our subscribers. How many subscribers? Got like almost 200, shit like that.
Yeah, we up there with 200.
It's only our second show.
Yeah.
Like, so, you know.
Absolutely. Oh, we building it. Man. We definitely building it.
I know people, it takes 6 months to get where we at. So, hey, shout out to everybody just subscribe to the channel, you know.
And also on the IG. I'm at you can subscribe to it, or you can follow me on IG at JIG _ nope.
Man, we gotta work
at
on this.
DJ _ JIG TYTE.
Gotta get your Instagram shit, man.
Yeah, I got it. That's it. At DJ _ Jig Tyte. That's JIGTYTE. And what's yours?
Man, thankful _ Robert, man. You know, follow me. And follow the podcast Instagram, what we know _ podcast as well.
Yeah, what we know _ podcast is we definitely need that one up, man. Again, when you do watch this video, don't forget to like the video.
Yeah, like, man.
And subscribe.
Yeah. Like, dislike, we don't care. Just fucking.
I prefer a like, though.
I prefer a like, but do something. Don't just look.
But yeah, back to the video, man. We're going to go ahead and start this video off, man. And we're going to give our breakdown on whatever it is that strikes us. So don't be upset, because we will be stopping the video so we can actually really talk about what's really going on up in this piece. All right. So again, this was at the 2019 Revolt Summit. And again, it was, in my opinion, I hopefully the next one, what they said that the next one is going to be on the 21st. I mean,
I think so. Yeah, I think I seen something like that. Yeah.
It's going to be this year.
It's going to be this year, though.
So damn, if it's this year, they got to be in the next couple of months. Because we at the end, man.
This year won't pass.
We're in October.
Fast.
We in October, man. Libra season. Libra and is it Scorpion season now? What's today's date? Today is on the 20.
On the 24th.
Let me see.
The 24th.
Oh yeah, it's Scorpion season right now, man. Yeah, shout out to all the Scorpions, man.
Yeah, my daughter's birthday November 27th.
And 27? She's a Sagittarius.
Yeah, she's 3. Damn. Okay, yeah, she gonna be no. Yeah, she ain't no Scorpio.
Ooh, you said the 27th of November?
Yeah.
Sag, man.
Yeah, she about that life. Yeah, 3 years old. She with the shits. Like 3.
Oh man, I got a Sag too. My oldest is a Sagittarius.
That's the one I got to keep my eye on. She with the shits.
Heck yeah, man. So go on ahead. We about to go ahead, man, and what time is it? Yeah, it's kind of late anyway, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and get into this, man, and break this thing down. And shit, let's go.
In less than 60 seconds is state what you think is the single most important issue facing us in this presidential election. Single most important issue facing us in this political election.
Oh yeah, also fair use. We're using this for fair use.
In other words,
in 60 seconds, and then we're going to open up and really get into this conversation. Steve.
What's happening? I think the most important thing, when I think about young people, when I think about 20, 30 years from now, and when I think about this election, I think about the intersection of climate change and the way that technology is going to change absolutely everything. In our lifetimes, what it means to be human is different. In 6 to 10 years, 50% of jobs that pay under $20 an hour are going to disappear. Everything's going to be different. I have a 3-year-old daughter. When I think about her future, when I think about when she's 18 years old, everything's going to be drastically different. And I want to see really, really epic, interesting conversations that are visionary and actually thinking about the future 15, 20 years from now, because I think that the next 3 years is when we really make a decision about which way that we go.
Thank you. Candace.
I would say the biggest issue this election cycle is that we're starting to hear the word socialism a lot in America. And it is something that I don't think people quite understand what it is. It's killed 100 million people in the last 100 years. If you look at countries like Venezuela, former USSR, and we have people that are making it sound good, which is how these countries tend to vote socialism into their countries before it completely destroys everything the country has.
Right.
And I would say the second biggest thing for me is that I'm getting tired of the Democrat Party drumming up the same issues every 4 years, taking advantage of the black vote and doing absolutely nothing to fix our communities and expecting us to vote for them again.
Okay, pause.
All right, Tip.
But based on just what she said, like, you know what I'm saying? What you think what she just said, Candace?
Yeah, what she was basically saying, she was spitting facts when it came down to voting. And in so many words, man, she was just saying, we got to know first and foremost, why are we voting? What is our, what is our agenda?
Yeah.
We got to be able to get to a point where we actually know what we're pretty much doing. Let me go back a little bit on what she said so I can really address some of that from the end. Go back to right there.
Is something that I don't think people quite understand what it is. It's killed 100 million people in the last 100 years. If you look at countries like Venezuela, former USSR, and we have people that are making it sound good, which is how these countries tend to vote socialism into their countries before it completely destroys everything the country has. And I would say the second biggest thing for me is that I'm getting tired of the Democrat Party drumming up the same issues every 4 years, taking advantage of the black vote and doing absolutely nothing to fix our communities and expecting us to vote for them again.
All right, Tip.
So to me, I think the main. I'm a run.
All right, before he go,
Before he go,
yeah. So what she was just saying was that people come, they take advantage of the voters that's in America, black voters specifically, and they come into as soon as you never see anything, you never see them until the season for voting.
Yep.
So once you start seeing it, you'll start seeing these candidates coming out, pulling hot sauce out of their goddamn purses, talking about how down they are with the black folks. And then they start doing things that's stereotypical of, which they think is stereotypical. Or shit, it is stereotypical of black people. So they try to get, they try to be more like they're down with black folks. Like I've seen it in the, late 70s, early 80s, where you would get these folks to come into your town and try to get you to, to vote for them. And they promise you all these things that they can get you. But never one time have we ever held their feet to the fire. Never did we ask for, or not ask, you don't even have to ask. Never did we even hold them to a standard that, listen, these are, and you will hear later on in a video, you'll hear Killer Mike say this. These are our terms. This is what we want. This is the agenda that we have right here. We need you to be able to do what you do, work your magic, so we can be able to have these certain things, communities, community centers, things that help empower the black community. But they would promise all these other things that we don't really need, and then they leave after they get the votes. So that's what she was just speaking on herself. So I'm like, all right.
Well, I think first thing first, we need to be educated on the things that we really need. And I think the first step is that, really taking accountability. You know what I'm saying?
No, we already are educated on it. We just don't know how to ask for it.
But you have to really understand what's really going on in your community. So
Is there, let me ask, is there a black community?
No, hell no. I already said, no, there's no community. But I would say, whatever the hell, you know what I'm saying? Black neighborhood, black community, whatever you want to call it.
Well, it have to be a community because in order, I mean, look at the root word, commune. We have to be able to have it. If it's just a neighborhood, you just occupying it then. But in order for it to be a community, you have to have certain things for it to even be a community. You have to have banks. You have to have prominent businesses.
Family.
You got to have prominent schools. You got to have these things. You got to have, construction. You have people building, buying up damn land that's in these communities, or just buying houses and being able to make them affordable. So it's a whole lot of things that we have to make it and call it a community. Other than that, it's just a neighborhood. And sometimes it ain't even a neighborhood. Sometimes it's just a hood.
Yeah.
Because where the neighbors at? If you got to worry about people in your neighborhood breaking in your house, taking your car, are those neighbors? That's what I'm looking at. But, one of the things, and I mean, I like what she said on that standpoint.
And we do, like, every year, like, we need to get out this mindset, like, looking for somebody to save our ass. You know what I'm saying? And really understand, like, what need to be done. You know what I'm saying? Like I hate, like, when they bring up voting, like, first thing they want to, like, mention is, ancestors died for you to die for you to be able to vote. That's, like, you know what I'm saying? They died for the people that wanted to vote. But I shouldn't have to just vote just to fucking vote.
Well, the caveat to it was that they understood the importance of voting. So it was the whole thing of not just getting there and voting for people you don't know anything about. They actually were knowing who it was. It did come at a point where, it was at a point where it was, especially once black folks got the right to vote, where they just wanted to have a say. It's a reason why we vote. It's a reason why it used to be. Now it's just who's more popular. Who is, a lot of people don't even know the candidates that they're voting for.
And that's what I mean. Like, I shouldn't, like, if I want to vote,
Your mic don't sound like it's on, bro.
Real?
Say something.
Yo.
Oh, no, it's on. I just can't hear.
Okay. No, I feel like I shouldn't be forced to vote for somebody. If I feel like both candidates it's not best fit to be president, I shouldn't have to pressure to vote for somebody. That's my whole thing. I want to vote. I have to vote because we supposed to vote. Vote. Educate yourself. Not better America.
Well, on that whole voting process, I do think that we do first need to have our voices heard by voting. It can be very powerful. The thing is that voting is not powerful if you don't know the candidate that you're voting for. So I understand what you're saying on that standpoint. However, we ain't got enough time to just sit back and say either we gonna vote or we not. No, we need to get our shit together. We need to go and formulate, and I'm not even talking about specifically black folks. I'm talking about Americans. One of the reasons that we having a problem right now is because there's a divide. That day of segregation is over with. We cannot sit back and think that we can segregate ourselves from the rest of America and then we can have people helping us. That's not going to ever happen again.
I agree.
So when it comes down to voting, we have to be Americans and vote American. We can't vote because a person is white, black, Hispanic, or anything like that. One of the things about, and when we talk about living in the inner city, people living in the inner city should already know that. If you living in Detroit, Philadelphia, Chicago, Atlanta, all these different cities that they consider to be inner city. I think that we should already understand that just because a person is black does not make them a great candidate at all.
Exactly.
So that's one of the things that we do have to do is learn how to vote. I don't think it should be an argument whether we should vote or not. I think we should learn how to vote. I think we should, if you want to have your voice heard, you have to at least practice what is your right, and that is the right to vote. You got people that just sit back and say, I'm not voting. It's not going to do any good. Okay. All right. That's what they look at. But man, if we keep reading history and we actually know what history is about and we actually understand what voting is, we have to be able to infiltrate the system in order for us to be able to change it. So what do? Just not vote for generation after generation after generation, but we're going to keep complaining? That makes no sense to me.
That's the thing. Like, we keep complaining. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I agree what you said. You know what I'm saying? Because that's all I hear. Like, we complain, but there's never no action. You know what I'm saying? And then we don't take accountability, you know what I'm saying, what the shit that we do to each other. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to talk too deep in it because we got a lot of video to talk about. But
yeah.
But this shit, well, man, we're going to continue watching the video. We're going to get even deeper in this shit.
Yeah. So the next one up that's about to start talking is the Kang. T.I. Tip, a.k.a. Clifford. See what he got to say about this. What you got to say about this, Cliff?
Down a list of things, but they all kind of coincide together. I think that homegrown terrorism and crazy white boys with AR-15 shooting up innocent people. I also think mass incarceration, the privatized prison industry, the militarization of police and how they interact with the people in our communities, and police brutality. I think all of those things, although they seem separate, I think they coincide. I think they correlate.
Thank you. Mike?
For me, directly speaking for and on the behalf of the African-American community, because I think that when we talk about what's our important issues, a lot of times, a lot of us try to cover broad ground. So I'm supporting Senator Sanders. If you want to know my broad ground answers, it's within his campaign. But from a very acute and very where we are standpoints, African Americans have to be bigger part of the economic landscape of this country. We should be owners and not buyers. We should be a merchant class and not only consumers. We should have and we should use our political leverage power to leverage and broker government contracts on the behalf of us so that we have 15 Atlantas and not one Atlanta. You should be hunting, fishing, shooting, training, and focusing on self-reliance and not simply relying on the people you say to hate to take care of you.
Katrina?
All right. So Mike said he said a handful, bro. He said a handful, a mouthful.
Yeah.
A handful. And that's what he was just saying was we have to empower ourselves. We cannot wait on the people that we say are holding us down to help us. So what he's saying is if that's the case, then we got to rely on one another then. And like he was saying, hunting, fishing, all that. Because what he's saying is that you got to be an American. When you look at what it is about liberty, nobody ever said freedom. It was like the pursuit of happiness. They always keep freedom out of there because one of the things about freedom is that it costs to be free. And then how do you contextualize freedom? Some people, they feel that they're free because they have an education. Some people feel that they are free because they have a lot of money. Yeah. They can go anywhere where they want to. Some people feel that they're free because they're just smart as hell. They read and they apply. Then some people, they don't think that there's no level of freedom. I do. I'm not one of those ones to sit back and be like, you will never be free. Yeah. No, it costs to be free. Yeah. If you don't do anything to empower yourself and your family, then you are not a free person. If you are going, like, for instance, when you look in this doggone audience, or you listen to the audience, all these people are doing is clapping and amen and like they in damn church. They ain't really listening. They're not really even listening. But we're gonna get back. I just wanted to go and chime on that. You got something else on that with Mike?
Yeah, man, Mike. You know, I rock with Mike. You know, he's real one. You know, a lot of things I agree. What he said on this video right here.
All right, so we go back and we will continue the video.
I would say that the biggest issue that Black Americans face is a severe lack of leadership. He speaks on behalf of young Black people. I'll speak on behalf of all the Black mothers out there, because our children are extremely important and no one seems to care. And I think that...
I just thought about, you know, saying something Killer Mike said about you. My whole thing was, I always say this, bro, because a lot of people, like, especially Black people, say equality. The thing is, no, it's like that should not be the focus. Economics. Focus. You know, we should be able to. We have to focus on us. Man.
But when you speak on equality, then the thing is about equality, again, you got to contextualize it. Or do you want equal outcomes, or do you want equal opportunity? Most people, they say they want equality, but they want equal outcomes. Yeah. They don't want equal opportunities.
Equal opportunities, you know, like you said, it costs. You know, you have to bring, you know, so you got to bring something to the world to get that. You know what I'm saying? And money is power. You know.
Well, with freedom, you definitely do. Yeah. This is the thing about equal opportunity. There's a thing called nepotism. A lot of people like to call it white supremacy. Because, you know, and for people that don't know what nepotism is, it is that a person get a certain privilege just because of who they're connected to and who they are. My father has, you know, he has a multi-million-dollar company. I didn't go to college to do what he did, but he gave me a job. Why? Because I'm his son. That was the condition. I'm his son. Now, I'm going to have to be able to show and prove if I want to make him more money, or if I want to, you know, but he's going to get me right there in the door. And that's just on the strength of me being his son. Or you got an uncle, or you got, even if it's just friends, or like when people talk about the good old boys club and stuff like that, it's all nepotism. So it's kind of like, you know, a lot of people like to talk about white privilege. It's just nepotism. You know, that's basically what it is. Privilege is privilege. You know what I'm saying? However, we are able to create our own. We are able, I think that should exist. Everything that's existing right now should be existing. And what we have to do, and it's there for us to either fight it or join, move in with it. If it's something that's going on in this world that we don't like, it's going to have to be enough of us to be able to gather with each other, to be able to fight it. But when we're doing what we're doing right now, if you got a couple of hundred people that's saying that it's not fair, everybody's agreeing with them, but nobody is stepping on the front lines to get it done. Nobody is they're not doing what it takes to get that, you know, get everything over with. Just like when when we was talking about, when we was seeing David Chappelle, if you ever saw, if you haven't seen that, man, that stand up, his last one, the closer, was the bomb.
I'm rocking with Dave.
Yeah. So when he made the statement to the LGBT, when he made that statement to them, he was like, "I don't hate you." He said, I'm impressed. He was like, "I'm jealous of you."
Yeah,
He said,
that
I'm
too,
jealous.
that too. Yeah.
He was like, that's just what it is. And then he explained what he meant by that. The way that they got together and they stuck together and they went to legislation, got bills passed, all kind of stuff that they did. They stuck together and made a movement. That movement is very powerful. Probably the powerful movement right now. I'm just saying.
Where they sit together.
Yeah. And they're not looking for equal opportunity. They actually want to be superior. They want superior opportunities.
Yeah.
Not even opportunities. They want superior outcomes. You can't say anything bad about that community without having some type of repercussion. You know, it is what it is. But going back, because I don't want to get too far off of that, we'll go back and see what old girl got to talk about now.
It has to stop. And so I think right now we have an opportunity with a President Trump who has gone far and beyond any other previous administration to impact black communities directly, Atlanta included. And I think that this lack of leadership in the black community is what we face, because Killer Mike just mentioned our political power. Well, guess what? That power is diminishing every time that they bring more illegal aliens into the country and make them voters.
Tamika?
I think that what is the most critical issue of this time is the idea that this generation becomes comfortable with white supremacy being the law of the land and fascism in our government. I think that that is a very dangerous position for our people to be in, and I think that for young people to believe it is normal for white supremacy to be the law of the land is very scary, because it therefore it stops our potential and our growth. And what we see happening right now is that white supremacy is actually winning. So I think that that's probably one of the most dangerous issues of our time.
What did she just say? How the hell do you keep saying something about the boogeyman? The boogeyman. She said white supremacy more than damn Tariq Nasheed.
Yeah.
Man,
let's keep watching.
Let's get ready to rumble! Y'all have heard 6 people representing the black community say similar and very different things, and I think that's dope. I think it's dope because all black people don't want the same thing.
That's right.
And I think the fact that we pretend like all black people want the same thing makes us crazy and puts us in a position where we can't have the kind of conversations that we're about to have right now. And so the fact that we're hearing different things, to me, is encouraging. The question is, are we mature enough to have a conversation
fair use, fair use, fair use, fair use, fair
here
use.
at Revolt that they never gonna have on MSNBC, CNN, or Fox?
Let's do it.
Because I'm gonna be real serious. If you love black people, then you gotta be able to look black people that you disagree with in the eye and talk to them like they're human, instead of yell at them, call them names, or disrespect them. We ain't had none of that shit here. So we getting ready to have a real conversation that only Revolt can have. And I'm excited about the brothers and sisters on this panel that are gonna make that happen. And so what I'd like to get right into is this whole notion of Trap the Vote. Trap the Vote is not just the theme of our panel, but it's an organization. And it's a C3 organization that Steve started. Steve, I'd love to hear why you started this organization and what you want to accomplish in this term, in this election term.
First off, I want to acknowledge that this room feels like the cookout, and I feel super comfortable right now. This is dope. For real. Mike was talking about the potato salad. That's what we're about to cook up right now, right? So I'm a member of a team. And Trap the Vote is about civic engagement. It's about political participation. It's about making sure that young people vote. We talk about youth of culture. When we think about the culture today, the most powerful culture on the planet, hip-hop culture, black culture that's at the center of it, and every other race of people and young people that are bought into that. When we talk about the fear of gods that Jerry Lorenzo drops, and all the white kids get them and all the black kids wanted them, and we're all a part of the same streams on our Instagram timelines, this is globally powerful. And I believe that we have a lot of cultural power. I think that we...
All right, so I'm sorry. I keep pausing this shit. But, okay, so he said, and I ain't knocking it. That's a a good agenda that he's doing for his organization, trying to get young people to vote. Now, this is another issue that I have with people on voting, right? So they tell you to vote, right? But they expect you to vote for the same person that you're voting for. So I'm pretty sure, because they can say all they want, because they talk down about Trump, a few times in this video. So they telling people to vote so they get Trump out of office. But they'll talk down on somebody that's willing to vote for Trump, especially if they black. So I don't understand, like, okay, you could tell somebody, oh, we need to encourage people to vote. But like, okay, so so when you're telling people to vote, are you trying to, get them to vote for who you want in office? You know what I'm saying? Will you be okay if a young person or in your organization or that that say, you know what, hey, I really think he's the guy for us. I don't know about this Biden guy. You know what I'm saying? Will you be okay with that? So that's my issue when people also start to stress voting. You know what I'm saying? Just because you want to vote for somebody doesn't mean the other person have to vote for somebody. You know what I'm saying? So is voting is important, or is who people vote for? That's what I'm trying to get at.
It's not even the people. It's the agenda that they represent. Yeah, so when you have a guy like my man, was it Steve Stout, right? Steve or Chris?
I don't know, bro.
I'll be knowing some of these folks, man.
Yeah, bro.
But
shout out to him though.
Yeah,
he rich.
But it's when you talk about this whole concept of that, no, it's about what they're capable of doing. You find out what their agenda is, because you got to remember also that the people that you're voting for also are citizens too. That's why when you have all the way up to the president, guess what they have to do too? Vote. So they go into that ballot, that booth, and they fill out that ballot just like anybody else fills out that ballot. Now, when you actually understand what the etymology of voting is, it actually comes from the word wish. So that's all a vote actually is a wish.
Yeah.
Now, you got to remember also, you got to elect. It's more than just voting for a person. You're not voting for that person. You're voting for whatever they represent in that office. You're gonna represent. They're gonna represent. Whatever is happening. Like you have somebody that actually want to get businesses. Like most Republicans, they want to get businesses to be better. So they want to create more work places for the Americans. They'll tell you so we can have more and more. Damn, you got allergies.
Man. It's not COVID.
You're gonna be doing this motherfucker with a mask on in a minute. But no, but it's for people. I don't lost my train of thought.
My bad.
It's actually when we talking about voting, you're not voting for a person. You're actually voting for what they're capable of doing and what their agenda is. So whatever their agenda is, does it fit yours? You're not going to be 100% satisfied. But if they got 20 things on their agenda, you can at least find at least 10 of those, 7 of them, or whatever. If they got more on their agenda that's for you, then that's how you vote for your candidate. But you also look at what their past is. If you ever notice, when we pick a president, they always have to pick a president that's tall, slim. They have to be able to talk in a certain manner. That's why it was so weird when Trump came into office. He was the total opposite of all of those other presidents they had. I hated the fact that people were saying that this is the worst president we ever had. I'm like, what?
Yeah, we had like George Bush and Bill Clinton and shit like that.
But not even them. We didn't have some.
Yeah, some bad presidents.
Dude, he's the 46th president. You mean to tell me that the majority of presidents were great presidents? Come on, man. Most of the presidents, look at the presidents that owned slaves. Look at the president, what was his name? John Lyndon Johnson.
Shit, man.
Lyndon B. Johnson.
Bro, people used to be fans for Trump. Like this is
I don't
like, this is what bothers me. Like before he was president or elected, whatever, bro. A lot of people read his books. You know what I'm saying? People looked up to him. You know what I'm saying? Inspired by him.
That's what make it weird. That's what make it really weird. It's like, wait.
Celebrities, these rappers used to be his friends. Like, man.
Yeah, so it was really weird when it came down to you even hear people, like you hear older folks say, he wasn't presidential. What does that mean? And this is the craziest part. That's why when I'm seeing this was in 2019. Was this right after he became? No, this was before the election.
It's about to start up.
Yeah. So this is why they did what they was doing, because they were trying to get people to vote for Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
Because
no. This is about him and Biden.
This was him and Biden then?
No, this is coming up. It's him and Biden. And
everything else was done.
At the time, At the time, it's Bernie Sanders, Kamala Harris, Biden, Trump, and maybe
all of them was gone.
The agent dude, yeah. You know what I'm saying? So this is like this is like the beginning stage. Of the election.
However, going back to the whole thing of just voting, you don't vote for the person, you vote for what it is that they stand for. So that means that we have to do our homework.
Yeah.
Did nobody really do homework on a lot of these presidents? But then we are talking about the president. A lot of times, you still had to deal with local. You had your judges. You didn't hear nobody having a problem with. And we had a bunch of crooked judges in America. A bunch of them. Whole bunch of people went to. That's the craziest thing when they talk about mass incarceration and all these different things. You have not heard them one time bring up any of these judges that were sending them to jail. You have not one time heard them talk about the prosecuting attorneys that were trying to get these people put in jail. You didn't hear none of that. All you hear is everything from an executive standpoint. And it's like, wait, they didn't have anything to do with that. They had everything to do with passing laws and bills, but who presented it to them? What? It wouldn't have never got that, like, for instance, that whole mass incarceration, those bills that Biden did and Hillary Clinton did and Bill Clinton, Ronald Reagan, all these things had to come to them. They didn't just go pull that shit out of a hat. They had to be presented to them. You don't hear them talking about none of that. You hear none of the people saying, this is how legislation works. This is how you're supposed to vote for your legislators. Yeah. Anywhere in our town or anywhere in our city, anywhere in our counties or boroughs or whatever it is, we should be doing our homework on studying these folks. This is how we get to, that's why I'm not really a proponent. I used to be, where your vote doesn't count. It will if you start practicing picking your people right.
Yeah.
If you start changing the way that you look at politics.
Yeah.
If we started being more into finance and politics from grade school on up, man, by the time we get to be in college age, we'll be on point with it.
Yeah.
But by the time we graduate, the majority of us don't even know how to vote. All we know is to vote. Get to the polls. It was so bad with this. I got to say before we start this video back up, I was just livid, man, when I seen them advertising voting with strippers. What was it? Get your booties to the poll.
Yeah, some shit like that. Just like the vaccination back the backs up.
And I'm looking at Black Americans don't y'all know that even Black people use us like we just like stupid people as a whole.
Yeah.
They will go and and I understand it. Meet them where they're at. Even when I remember they had vote or die. That should not have been everything gotta be, everything has to be with so much angst.
Yeah.
Rock the vote wasn't bad. That wasn't bad. But that vote or die shit, get your booties to the poll. It's like, this is how they get us. This is how we keep getting fooled, because we don't actually look at it as, all right, we got to start getting ourselves more involved. We don't even want to get involved. We just complain about it and say we ain't going to do it.
Hey, you know what? A lot of people might disagree with me, but it's so true that you're saying, because, we get caught up in this shit, and then we vote, and then we get disappointed that, we don't get what we asked for, or that we don't get what they said they was going to do. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like, man, shit, you be disappointed for so long. I feel like to show real power, the best thing for black folks, maybe shit, if you really, then not to vote, if you really feel like nobody ain't bringing nothing to the table.
Yeah,
we're not voting for nobody. So you actually, like, if you really care what black people, I need a real black agenda. If you really care what black folks want, you know what I'm saying?
However,
I trigger your trap card. I trigger your trap card.
The trick though is our votes gotta matter.
Yeah.
13% of the population.
That ain't gonna cut it.
It will if we was what we are. When it comes down to buying, when it comes down to getting stuff, we 80%.
Yeah.
When it comes down to us purchasing, we are the number one in consumer.
Yeah.
We the number one consumers in America.
It's like when they try to cancel Gucci. Gucci is canceled. Man, y'all niggas waited 2 years, man. Not even 2 years, 6 months. Gucci to the head to the toes.
I'm not. Well, they were saying boycott.
That's stupid. They not from here. They don't know what's going on.
No, they know more about what's going on than us. That's why they can market to us. That's why you can see everybody still wearing their stuff.
But they wasn't trying to, like, this whole. I ain't gonna get into it, bro.
No, it's the thing is this: when you have a multi-billion-dollar industry such as Fendi, Gucci, or any one of these, they actually know how to market. And marketing, a part of marketing is the psychological, value that you can grab from people. It's basically, when you look at people, you got to know what it is to get their impulses going to you. You got to know how to market to these folks. At the end of the day, I get what you saying. They ain't checking for black folks. They wasn't checking.
It wasn't checking for black folks. It wasn't. Oh yeah, let's get this blackface mask and piss everybody off. Like, no, it wasn't. No, bro.
But it goes. Yeah. We can get deeper.
Yeah, man.
That. Let's continue.
We've seen an incredible progressive shift over the past 7 years, with the rise of many groups all over the country, and young people particularly using their voice and talking about things that they care about.
No, go ahead.
Trap the Vote is about bottling that cultural energy and that cultural power and turning it into political power. I don't have an agenda. My agenda is to uplift the voice of young people all over this country, because these are the future leaders of this country. And young people, we're listening to them. We're doing polls, we're doing surveys, and we're listening to young people, and what we're hearing them say is that they don't feel heard. We're hearing them say that, hey, we're being real loud about the issues that we care about, and our political representation.
Ain't nobody being heard more than damn young folks now. They got social media on lock.
Yeah.
What you talking about? Yeah. They got social media on lock.
Yeah, bro. And he said, like, I don't have an agenda, but I want to still guide young people to what we said.
Yeah, I don't have if you don't have an agenda,
how can you guide them?
Right. If you don't have an agenda, then what are you talking about? But that's why you're gonna see how Candace be looking at him like he's saying a bunch of she started being like, damn, I'm trying to.
It's too polarized, and they're not making anything happen for us. We want to make sure that the 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds, up to 35, everybody's voting, that everybody feels powerful, that everybody feels engaged, so that we can
again, this is fair use.
Usher in
a
new generation of leadership. We're talking about not only millennials, but Gen Y and Gen Z. This is the future, and the future is right now. And I think that we need to take young people more seriously. So that's what Trap the Vote's about.
So thank you so much for that. So Tamika, I want you to chime in and tip you as well
I
on
agree
this.
with the last part.
So
That man is still saying a bunch of nothing.
He's saying a bunch of nothing, but I do agree. Like, I feel like most older, it's like, especially like the older generation, don't really take a lot of young people serious, like what they say. And I tell a lot of like OGs, like, man, really, man, the young niggas, you can say what you want about these young bulls out here, but they out here getting the bag. They out here making stuff happen. You know what I'm saying? And where we disagree with him about, he talking about young people got the voice. I feel like they have the biggest voice. You know what I'm saying? You know, so yeah, so that's what I agree with that part. I feel like you know, the youth is the future, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like a lot of older people don't take a lot of young people too serious. You know what I'm saying?
So let me ask this question then. If the young folks are our future, what do our future look like then? What do you foresee or project our future looking like right now?
As far as what?
Empowerment, financial empowerment, being able to get build communities and not live in other people's communities, being able to give their children something other than money. How about the smarts on how to use money? It's one thing to make money, but it's another thing on how to use money. Can they do something that generations before them have been talking about for a long time, but it has been very little progress when it comes down to building, or no progress, really? I don't know if it's any. We can't see the progress. Maybe it is, but what I'm saying is, how is that, when we say that they're the future, you got to remember there was a song in the 70s that was sung, who was that made that song? Was it Donny Hathaway? I believe the children are the future.
Yeah.
Teach them well and let them lead the way.
Yeah.
It was, and that actually was, I remember that song being on, I don't know if you ever saw this movie it's called The Greatest with Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
He actually starred in it.
Yeah.
He actually played himself.
Played himself. Yeah, I remember that.
And that song was saying, and when you hear the words, I believe the children are the future, teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. And then, you know, when they're going on and on and on, it was like an instruction that we have to do. Did that actually happen?
Yeah. So this is my thing. I feel like, finance wise, I feel like it's going to get better because with technology and this digital market that we in now, I feel like more young people is going to make more money.
But if they make more money, what are they going to do? Are they going to be able to use it?
So that's what it comes like people, I would say my age range, you know, us new generation of parents. I feel like I feel like this new generation of parents, we are changing our, we trying to change the narrative, especially when it comes to education. And what I mean by that, we're not just relying on the school system to give our kids education. Like for example, my wife, she homeschool my daughter. You know what I'm saying? And one thing that we stress to my daughter is about money. You know what I'm saying? Finance. You know what I'm saying? We're to a point where my daughter, that's all. She's like, yeah, daddy, I want to make a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like this new generation of parents, especially with the education that we have now, you know what I'm saying? More things are coming out now. We really want that change. We really want that change for our kids, you know, not just for our kids, but our kids. So a lot of people, a lot of parents, you know, we want generational wealth, not for us, but down the line. But the problem is that we really we can't just talk about it. Like, we have to put in work. We have to be, you know, saying we could teach our kids these things, but we also got to be that example. You know what I'm saying?
I kind of agree with that.
You know what I'm saying? We have to show them the way.
Yeah,
we got to have the agenda that we have to follow so they can follow us. You know what I'm saying? And not saying we have to be rich and all this other stuff, but we know we got to show.
But you got to be wealthy.
We got to show them that what hard work look like. You know what I'm saying? You know, if you know, like for my kids, they see me, they know I work. I know what I'm saying. Daddy's always working, but I'm working because I rather work hard and what I'm saying and be tired of all this other stuff for them to have a better future.
But
for them to have options.
But you definitely have to have an attitude of wealth.
Yeah.
It is, and what I mean by wealth though, it is like the building of the family and being able to have family around you. Like right now, let me go back to what you were just saying first. I think that I agree with you when it comes down to like where we at now generationally, where actually your generation actually has started taking that on as far as like doing homeschooling their children. So they're like, yeah, this and kind of like in other people, shit, it was kind of like the society. In society, a lot of parents were looking for like what happened with this pandemic. They ended up, a lot of parents took that, like it was like, okay, I've always wanted to homeschool my kids. And because the kids were out of school and they had to be at home anyway, a lot of parents did say, well, I might as well, if I'm going to be here doing this, I might as well start homeschooling my kids myself. Because I understand that now I can have control over what it is that they're being taught. Again, that was one of the things that people were saying when I was coming up. If you don't like the system, why not homeschool your children?
Yeah.
That's a real hard thing to do when you got one parent working 2 jobs, another parent might be working 2 or 3 jobs.
Or you got a single mother. And
Right.
I'm going to tell you, and something you said that the community, right?
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing the community is missing is that 2-parent household. You know what I'm saying? My
That's
wife,
going to be another show too.
No, it is going to be another show.
That's going to be our code right there. Yeah.
We could say all this good stuff like what we need to do, but we need to do what we got to do. You know what I'm saying?
Together.
Do what we got to do to stay together as a family.
Yeah.
And that
Then we can talk about community.
Then we can talk about community. You know what I'm saying? My wife is not able to homeschool my daughter if we're not together in the same household.
The community is broken again.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's the craziest thing because your family is that's the smaller element of a community. So if in order for us to even have a great community, we have to have families and women and men that are willing to create their own small community, which is what we call the immediate family.
Yeah.
So that's dope. I don't want to go too far into that because
what we know. Man,
we
come on now.
Gonna speak on that one right there. But let's finish this one right here, man, because we got a lot of points with that. And I want to get to meat potatoes.
Hey, on a real, you want to just skip to like Candace.
This is what it's about to go to that.
Okay.
Black spaces, the language we use to young people about why they should vote is because somebody died for them to vote. We hear it over and over again. I don't go to the polls because somebody died for me. I appreciate those that came before me. I vote for my babies. I vote for my interests. I vote for my business. And so as we attempt to kind of change this narrative or evolve the narrative as we engage the community, what is the way that we need to do that differently than we have, especially oftentimes when we don't have candidates that are directly inspiring young people to be involved? Tamika and then Tip.
I think that in this moment, we definitely have to be delivered from that old language around who died for us to have our right to vote and all of these different things. It doesn't work. I think in this particular moment, we have to respect the fact that young people are brilliant. They are reading, watching, listening, and paying attention. And whether or not we value their opinions does not mean it does not count. The only way we can bring young people to the table is to talk to them about the issues that are at the center of what they care about. In their communities, police brutality is an issue. Obviously, education is an issue. Jobs are issues. These are the things that they care about. So when we fly in looking fancy and having people that don't know anything about Miss Lucy's water being dirty and don't know anything about what's going on the ground, we are missing them completely. We cannot talk about people without having them as part of the conversation. And more importantly, More importantly, I feel like so many of our spaces, even black spaces where we are organizing, are too elite for the people who we talk about. So if we are organizing without those who are the strippers, the scammers, the people who have been cast out in our society, if they are not at the front of the conversation, we're just doing something to make ourselves feel good. We're not really doing anything for the people in our community.
Did she say the strippers?
Oh man,
the scammers?
Scammers.
Hasn't that been a problem with us? We have scammers that's involved in what we got going on.
And we okay with this?
If they're not a part of the conversation, are you crazy, lady?
We wouldn't want them in the conversation.
Oh,
we can't have that conversation with them. Because they doing the same. They doing the stuff that is hurting us.
So this is her whole thing. We need to get people that make us the weaker link to be in the front of the conversation. Are you crazy?
And that shows how much.
No, you know what you're doing does not build anything when it comes down to any entity. It shows how much they take
black people serious.
I'm telling you, and you hear that, man.
They have to use certain things to get black folks' attention. That's what they feel like they need. Oh,
this lady.
Let's take the hip hop phrases and saying, no, they like strippers. Oh, most black people are scammers. Like, let's get them in the front of the table.
No, but the crazy part is that they sat back and clapped for this. This shows you what we dealing with.
People in our community.
They clap for this shit.
In our society, if they are not at the front of the conversation, we're just doing something to make ourselves feel good. We're not really doing anything for the people in our community.
Man,
it's past for the canvas, bro. This shit.
I agree 100% with what Tamika said and what you said. I don't think that people should.
Really? He agreed 100% what she said. 100% that we should have scammers and strippers and everybody that makes these.
You can't make this shit up, people. Right,
I'm trying to told y'all.
Can't make it up.
Trying to told you already ago.
Because of who died for them to vote, I think they should be motivated to vote because of the decisions that are being made affect them and affect the people that they would die for. You understand what I'm saying? I think that one of the main issues is we wait too late to start to try to motivate young people. This should be a conversation in first grade, second grade, third grade, all the way up through high school, not wait until you're 18 and it's the first election after your 18th birthday and then try to explain the importance of voting to you. I think it has to be like a mindset that is developed over time.
What's that?
You talk to them when they ready. Because you got to understand, that sound all good at all, but if they not mature enough to even take the information, it's really pointless. Now, you could say it every now and then. You could try it. Now, I'm not going to knock it. But the fact that we say, well, we need to do this young, while they young, we shouldn't wait till they 18. I know.
But this is the missing part about that, homie.
Oh, okay. What am I missing?
Most adults don't know how to vote themselves. So what he talking about is what they call it a moot. It's a moot conversation right now. We got to talk about people that are slow with it. We got to go back to the people that want to vote or the ones that don't want to vote. And we got to actually be able to at least articulate it to them on why it is important for us to vote, or it's important for us to collectively hold our vote. Not just don't vote, don't participate, don't be in there. If you're going to do it, you get it together and everybody should be on the same plane.
We protest our vote. If after this election, we don't see no improvement, y'all can kick rocks next election.
But it's a way that you have to do it. It's definitely a way you have to do it. Look at like the Asian Americans, right? That's here. Yeah. That's the lowest voters turnout than anything. And they're fairly powerful when it comes to the economics.
Yeah.
Because they know what they have to do. They understand that you have Indians that go to school, right? Cousins, brothers, sisters, whatever. They all come to America. One of the things is that they understand that this is a land of opportunity. So they would come here and they don't have a whole lot of money or whatever. They did whatever they had to do to get money. But guess what? You will see them in apartments, man. 2-bedroom, 1-bedroom apartment. It be 12 of them. They be eating noodles and, whatever it is that they do to get by for 4 years. So they can go ahead and take that degree or whatever they got in architect or in medicine or whatever it is they do, and they will make either a community here or they will go back to their country and build a community there, which is they understand the concept, just like we should be understanding the concept that when you go to college or anything, you go as a kid, you come back as an adult. If you go to college so you not to go and come back and get a job. You go there so you can either create a job or you can create opportunities so other people can get a job. Again, nepotism and all these different things is there. That's what we look at. So when we talk about this voting thing, it's more than just going to the polls and voting. You definitely have to go there. You definitely have to understand that there's agendas that's going to be all around here. And we're in a race. That's why they call the color part race. But it's not. It's a world race. It's a cultural race. Yeah. It's an ethnicity race. Yeah. It's all of these different races. And everybody that has a community or they have people that they love or families, they want their families to be the best. They want to be able to get the best. And in order for that to happen, what do they have to do? Sacrifice. Yeah, they're going to have complaints and stuff like that, but they're going to be complaining and working at the same damn time.
Yep. And also, I know you said you don't have an agenda, and I appreciate that because we need people like you, but I do have an agenda. My agenda is to liberate my people, teach them to love each other again, revitalize my community, create a self-sustaining, financially stable ecosystem that will be present for generations to come. And you can't do that without putting the proper people in office that have similar interests and a passionate need to fulfill these voids, whether it's education, whether it's employment, whether it's just proper opportunities for us and access, not a seat at the table. We want the motherfucking table. You know what I'm saying? We don't want a seat.
You see how they just clapped about that? He said a bunch of, I ain't gonna say a bunch of nothing, but that part right there is we want the table. First and foremost, when people talking, this is what's crazy, because you'll hear people saying that even when you talk about relationships and stuff, they like, what do you bring to the table? First and foremost, what kind of table is it?
It's a dinner table.
Is it a dinner table? Right. What the fuck? When you sit back and make some stupid ass comment saying, I am the table, or I already have, I'm bringing the table. You can't bring a table. And what they mean by table, they mean negotiation table. So you the negotiation table? You bringing the negotiation table? No, you come to the negotiation table, and that's what they mean by the table. Negotiations. This is what it is. That's why when you ever see proposals, voting is about to, the voting season is about to come up. What is it? We already did the primary, right? So once voting season come back, when we see these proposals that our counties have, we see the proposals that they have proposals. I haven't really seen a proposal for a state. I always seen them for counties and zip codes. Well, they probably have them for states too, but you have to read these proposals. And every time you see something in the proposal, there's always going to be something like you agree with something at the beginning of the proposal. But if you keep reading down to the proposal, you're going to see it's going to be something that has nothing to do with you. Then you read another proposal that's on the opposite of that. Sometimes they don't have anything on the opposite. You either vote for it, yay or nay, or they have two other proposals that you go off of. But that's what they do. It's a proposal. So once they propose it, then they get everybody to vote on it. Now it ended up becoming a policy or a law. That's what we have to look. When you see that they had a proposal in Michigan to legalize marijuana, people didn't understand that there was some other shit that was attached to that. They had shit about insurance and all kind of other shit that was attached to it. But didn't nobody read that. All they know was what they read in bold letters.
I was one of them. I don't cap.
Because what happened with it was that it still didn't get decriminalized.
Yeah. It ain't do nothing.
It's worse now if you get caught.
Only thing it did that you could just walk in the dispensary
No, but I mean, ain't nobody. They're
retard.
not gonna mess around with you. You got you a 7 of some weed. Ain't no cop gonna mess with you. But however,
Start selling that
you
shit.
got
Yeah.
there you go. You
Yeah.
got plants down in the basement.
Yeah.
They ain't gonna get you on the weed.
Yeah.
They gonna get you on infringement. It's gonna be a federal.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a federal offense. So they could get you on everything other than having what do they call it, possession of marijuana?
Yeah.
Nah, they ain't gonna get you on the possession of marijuana. The intent to sell over a certain amount. That's why they tell you that, yeah, you can give your friend some weed, but if you sell it to them, it's against the law.
Yeah, I know people that who's in the growing industry, and they said, man, it's really stressful. Like, there's so many different laws you got to go by when it comes to like growing marijuana. Like, it's not just because it's legalized, it didn't really it affect people that really like grow. They got their own business, but it's not. It didn't really help as much.
Yes.
It's a hard business.
Yeah. It is.
And I'm tired of asking. You can never continue to ask the motherfucker who's oppressing you to stop oppressing you. You know what I mean? That shit it only happens by leverage and force. And our leverage is our culture. Our leverage is the power of our dollar. And until we take control of that and redirect that to the places and the people that we need to redirect it towards, then we'll always be in a position where we got our hand out asking the motherfucker to do
I agree with him. That's it. I agree with what he said right there. He said something that was, agreeable.
something for us.
So with that, because I want to build on that, and Candace
Oh,
and Mike,
okay.
I'd
Hold
like
on.
you to
Hold
chime
on.
in here.
He made some good points, but you think culture
It's a leverage?
is a leverage?
Hell yeah. We dude. And what he's mean by the culture, he don't mean the black culture. He means the, rap. Well, it could be black culture. All around the world, you hear people using our lingo. They don't know what it means. They dress like us.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
but if we don't use it as leverage,
Yeah.
what he's saying is that we actually have this as leverage.
Yeah, you do. Okay, I was thinking something.
If that is true, and I'd love to hear that if you all think that is true, then we really shouldn't be acquiescing to the agenda of either party. We essentially should be developing an agenda that is ours and forcing them to respond to that. But so often we are simply saying, I want to support Trump or I want to support this candidate, and it becomes a party decision versus forcing them to know what our vote is worth. So I'm interested, because both of you are on different sides of the aisle, how is the best way to engage a two-party system?
I'm on the black
with our
side of the
agenda?
aisle.
Well, talk to me about
we
it.
represent two different candidates.
Talk to me about it.
But I'm on the black side of the aisle. I'm on the side wherever the good potato salad is. So we just I'm gonna let my sister speak first, but I want everyone to know my political interest.
I'm with Mike. That's my man and all, but he just lied. Watch this shit.
Okay. Yeah.
He said, "I'm gonna let my sister speak." Now watch this shit. This is him letting her speak.
Start and end with how
I'm just fucking with him, but that was it was funny.
But he got shit got real. So
it's just a little foolish for us to say that we don't inspire children by saying someone died for your right, because the people who oppose you glorify.
I'm glad, and I didn't like the last time that I heard them say that, where they saying, like T.I. said it, and the other girl, she had said that we shouldn't be, trying to get people to vote because of our ancestors died for us having the right to vote. That's bullshit. We standing on the shoulders of people that had to go through whatever. That's why we have to always understand what our history was and what our heritage is, because just like my generation still stood on the backs of my parents' generation, your generation still standing on the backs of mine. We all have to be able to at least say, hey man, if it wasn't for this person doing this or this person doing that, we wouldn't even have the doors open for us. So it could have been something small. So we can't just sit back and say, it's fucked up. That's why he says, a little foolish to say that. No, man, them motherfuckers, they never got a chance to vote. Yeah. They did it for the greater good. They didn't do it for themselves. They did it for that one people that they're talking about. They like, I'm not going to be able to see it. It goes to the same thing when Dr. Martin Luther King was telling the people, his people, that I may not make it to the mountaintop with you. He was speaking in a parody of the Moses parody. Yeah. But he was saying, I may not make it there. I'm doing this for the ones that ain't even here yet. I may not be able to see this, but I'm me and all these hundreds of thousands of people behind me. We're doing this for a generation that's still here, a younger generation, but generations to come. It's the greater of good. So that's what it comes down to. It ain't about, and when you get caught up into, this is what we doing just to get, money, just to get wealth. Wealth does not mean specifically that because you have a lot of money. Yeah. You can become broke all over again if you are not careful. But you cannot become broke if you're building a family and sticking with it. This is what it all comes down to. What they're talking about right now is for the simple fact that they just wanted to try. The intention was to make Black people more aware that, hey, they about to come to y'all to try to get these votes. So we want to make y'all aware that, look, start getting an agenda. It's too late now.
Yeah, it's too late. Yeah,
it's too late now, Mom. It's too late. But now? That's why they say we got another one that's coming up. So now what we have to do, man, is build from where we at right now, so we can go further. But the only way we can even build, we have to actually come and be honest with ourselves. We have to be honest and say that, man, we pretty much on the lazy side of the game right now.
Yeah.
We keep looking at who can give us. We got money. Right. We got, as far as a community, as far as shit, when I mean by community, I'm talking about in America. Financially, we've all been doing a whole lot better than if you look back 10, 15 years ago. Guarantee the economy is way better than what it was.
I agree.
It is. But let's finish this. We already got an hour. We in here, hour and 22 minutes already. All right,
they're heroes. I am a proud American. Let me say that first.
Fair use.
I have no problem saying that because I'm providing an opportunity in this country that I travel around the world other Black men and women don't have. Now, it is my responsibility to take that opportunity and create more opportunities by way of economy, by way of having a platform to speak on the behalf of, and by way of making sure my constitutional rights and privileges are honored, which is why you hear me, who stands a lot of times with people on the left, say, I don't give a fuck what them niggas talking about. I'm not giving up my gun for nobody, because the Second Amendment promises me that. I speak and say what I like because the First Amendment promises me that.
So Mike, no, I don't want you to stop. What I want you to do is tell me about the process, because you and Bernie have been riding hard, but I'm interested in knowing what was the conversation.
But it's bigger than Bernie. We're going to keep it local. I'm talking about Atlanta. And what I mean is Atlanta is a Black city that succeeded with non-Black, with Black but non-Black total agreement. We had a Black paper here that was owned by Black Republicans that helped the SCLC promote, which was owned by Black liberals. We had Black ministers who were ultimately conservative and told Dr. King when he was a young man in the late 50s, hey, I want to start this civil rights campaign. They said, there's Alabama, take your ass on down there and go. It didn't start in Atlanta because Atlanta niggas had some money and they was a little bougie. It started outside Atlanta and came back with young people. So young people, the old people now who you disagree with once were young. And because they did things like took bullets, took beatings, took bashes to the brain, you have that opportunity. So abso-goddamn-lutely, there's a blood oath that's been made. There's been a blood oath made in every American. When we learned about the American Revolution in Collier Heights Elementary in an all-Black neighborhood, we did not learn about a white country that simply used us as slaves. We learned that the first person to die on the behalf of this country was a Black man named Crispus Attucks. That gives a sense of pride to a Black black boy. Well, what happens to that black boy then? That little motherfucker grows up and goes to Frederick Douglass High School. Frederick Douglass is the most photographed person of the 19th century, a person who worked with both Democrats and Republicans, who helped free not only black people, but women. He said in 1865, women and black people deserve the right to vote. But I wouldn't know that had I not been educated by a syllabus that was given from Clark University and Dr. Asa Gilliard. I am, what you see when you see me and you see Tip Harris is the product of black excellence. We didn't wake up and a nigga started using big words and we sing and dance and all of a sudden we got it figured out. This is a process. You are a part of a process. The same way a Jewish child is a part of a 10,000-year process of keeping a culture. Clarence Avant is the reason you have Sean Combs. It's the reason you would have the next. So never in your black ass life allow your history to be wiped away. Now, after you know I'm dragging my black ass out when I don't feel like it, I don't feel like going to vote, but I'm going to get my black ass up. I'm going to call my black ass friend T.I. I'm going to say, get your black ass up and vote. Take your black ass children to vote so it becomes a habit. Who is your congressman? Who is your senator? Who is your city council person? And if you cannot answer those, you have already failed yourself. Google that and know that it is my responsibility because I stand on the shoulders of others. It is my responsibility because this is my clear and present right now. And it is my responsibility on behalf of my children going forward. And that's simply why I vote.
I respect that.
And I appreciate that. And I think the context, no, I'm serious. I think the context you made between knowing and teaching our history versus the messaging that we're using are two different things, because I totally agree with you. I still have the question for you nonetheless, because I think you have negotiated with people what your support looks like in ways that a lot of us have never negotiated. The same way business people have sat at the table with people and negotiated deals that other people can't negotiate. So I'm curious in knowing what does the negotiation look like with a candidate when you say, I'm going to give you my support, these are the things that have to be there in order for me to give that. Because I think that's important as we start talking about who we're going to support, and I need to hear that from you.
I mean, if you look at our mayor, I supported Vincent Forrest, who was a Bernie-crat. He put forth along a marijuana decriminalization bill. Well, why does marijuana decriminalization matter in Atlanta? I know a lot of young men who are my sons and Tip's son age, they get a bullshit marijuana conviction, all of a sudden their Hope Scholarship ends at Clark, ends at Morehouse, ends at Georgia State. I wanted to make sure that that couldn't happen to a young man again. I told her when she was on city council, if you can get city council, if you guys support that decriminalization bill, you have my full and total support. And I would like to publicly say, man, me and T.I. stood out in the rain on those steps that day and that morning and gave those speeches on her behalf because we saw her come closer to the progressive chain of thought that we wanted. And after doing it, Atlanta followed. Clarkston was ahead of us, but you see other counties like DeKalb, Gwinnett now decriminalizing. That comes directly out of local politics with Vincent Ford. That comes directly out of us sitting down talking to candidates. And in terms of national candidates, if your national policy appeals or I see it can work for my people in some way, you have my support, but you also have my honesty. And my honesty is always going to tell you what I do and what I don't support, or like black folks say, what I do and what I don't fuck with. If I fuck with more of what you do, I fuck with you. If I don't, I'm going to go quiet as your wife when she mad.
Yeah, man. Voting, man. Voting is a process, man.
How are we
negotiating? Gotta really do your homework, man.
You said what now?
The voting is a process, you know what I'm saying? You really got to do your homework. You got to really educate yourself. You know what I'm saying? Ain't about just every 4 years, you know what I'm saying? It's all about the local vote as well. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's my whole thing, you know. Voting is bigger what people think it is, you know, so.
Tactics, so that we're not acquiescing to somebody else's agenda, but being clear about ours in the process of giving them our support.
Well, I would say the first thing is that it's important to identify what our agenda actually is. And I think that the most important thing for people in this room to understand is that there is a very small window. Right now, the black vote is the most important vote in the country. There's a very small window before our vote's not going to matter. These conferences won't matter, and us sitting here won't matter. because illegal immigration, if you're looking at the numbers, every new birth in this country, 60% of all new births are Hispanic Americans, and the Democrats are about, listen, you're saying, let me get to the point. I'm gonna tell you what's wrong with it. I say illegal is the new black because it's true, and there's a reason why they're advocating for open borders. Right now, our vote means a lot, but new births of black Americans have stagnated. The population growth within black America has stagnated. So the things that I pay attention to are the numbers. I pay attention to the birth rates in this country, which is why I'm pro putting something down to stop illegal immigration. The second thing that I think is really important, and you may have heard me testify in front of Congress, is the illiteracy rates that are facing black America. 75% of black boys in California can't pass a reading exam. Across Baltimore, they looked at 5 schools. They couldn't find a single black boy that was a single black child that could pass a basic reading or a math exam. So I caught a lot of slack because I said this is the Democrat plantation, but I meant what I said. If you look historically at what the plantations were when we were slaves, there were 3 things that were necessary for them to run. The first was our ignorance. Black Americans were not allowed to learn how to read unless we would have our limbs chopped off. And that was because an educated mind cannot be enslaved. So the fact that our schools are in this condition in the inner cities and all throughout America and not a single candidate is talking about it is problematic to me. I think that that's a huge negotiating tool for me. We need to be talking about the inner city schools. Another component, and this is the biggest issue that I think is facing black America today, which was important to
You see how disrespectful they are in the
Yeah, you hear people talk in the background.
They hollering at her.
Yeah, bro.
They telling her to shut up. This shit is crazy, and it's hard for her to even get a chance to talk because that's why she kind of losing her thought, and she have to kind of look how she's looking down so she can keep concentrating on what it is that she's saying.
This is why when people say, "Oh, America don't take black people serious," shit like this, bro.
Yep.
The simple fact, just listening, taking your feelings out the situation, respect. This is a black woman. You know what I'm saying? You hear a whole bunch of people talking about, "Oh, we got to protect our black women." You know what I'm saying? Respect, our black queen, but in a crowd full of people, they disrespecting her and not even taking what she's saying seriously because they all in their feelings.
Yeah.
Plantations was the breakdown of family. The biggest issue facing black America is father absence. We have children that are growing up without their fathers in the home, and that is being incentivized by the government right now via the welfare system. When the government says we'll give you more money if you don't marry the father of your children, you are incentivizing bad behavior in our community. What happens when you remove a father from the home? This is why I do not mess with feminism at all. I'm not with it. This breakdown and mocking masculinity, making it seem like there's something wrong to be a man, all of this contributes to the breakdown of family. When you remove...
y'all, hey, hold on. So, hold on, brother, hold on. There's going to be an opportunity for each of you to engage, but I want to make sure this sister has the right to talk while she's here. That's why we invited her. So let her say what she needs to say.
They mad because, let me watch what I say. No, forget it. I guarantee probably half the people in the crowd probably grew up with a single mom. And what she's saying is absolutely true.
I don't even think they listen to what she's saying.
They not. You know what I'm saying?
It's just the fact that they don't like her. So at the end of the day, when you don't like somebody and you got, everybody that's in there, so it's crazy where you have this being a population thing. A popular type of thing. She's not popular amongst black folks, period. So it was for one, it was very unfair for them to put her on I get what they're trying to do. I get what Puffy was trying to do. I get what Mike is trying to do. Hopefully this second one that they do, because I'm gonna be all in on it. And this time we gonna do a show on it right after it's done.
Yeah.
And hopefully it's better than this one. But this is the thing about, as a whole, black Americans don't even take each other serious. And this is the reason why. You got people out here blurting, and you can hear as a guy that's out there blurting some shit. And that's why they looking like, hold on.
And they have to repeat themselves. Hey, let her speak. It's a shame that we gotta tell grown ass people that. We tell kids, you in the classroom, don't talk when the teacher is talking.
Yeah.
We can't follow simple direction.
And then let's keep it moving. Come on, y'all.
The single motherhood rate in the 1960s in Black America, and they thought that.
Now, at a
Hold
on. Talk to him, Killer. Talk to him.
At a certain point, we can't be assholes. At a certain point, these are black men and women, and in particular, these are black women. Like on some real G shit.
But now they clapping.
It doesn't matter how you feel about her personally. Everything she has just said, Louis Farrakhan said for the last 25 fucking years. So.
Do you know how retarded these folks sound? I'm telling you. When you want to find out how people think of you as a whole, just be a fly on the wall sometimes. It's great to be somewhere where you don't think that people notice that you're there and you hear them talking. But this is the reason why. And when we don't call out this type of behavior and we don't look for, like I told you earlier before we had the podcast, like, man, we have to get to a point where we got to hold each other to a higher standard than what we are.
Yeah.
We have to start doing that. We can't sit back no more and sit back and say, well, you got to understand. No, I don't.
I don't have to.
I don't have to understand. For one of the things I do understand is that the world don't owe us understanding. Nobody owes us understanding. We owe each other understanding. And when we can sit back and have shouting matches, for one, big ups to the people on the summit, the Revolt Summit, man, for trying to take that step into having discourse where it can be, where if we disagree with each other, it can be respectfully. So that's a dope thing, and I'm glad that they're going to do a second one. But when you really look at it, who are we trying to market this to?
All right.
It's sometimes, man, they got to be like in school, where some people gonna get it, some people ain't, some people gonna flunk. So y'all stay right there where the less than mediocre people is, and let the people that want to rise and get all the way up to greatness, leave them alone. But the people that's trying to get up to greatness, let them go. Yeah. That is a hard thing to do. Divorce them folks.
Yep.
Because this is what you get. And I get it. Watch. I mean, it's a damn shame that he got to get up and tell people to behave themselves. These are adults.
Right.
Behave yourself? Come on, man. And watch how he had to go. And then they clapping.
They clapping. Like,
he right.
No.
He right, man.
No.
Man. No. And I don't know if she's a fan of Farrakhan. I know me and Tamika are. Bam. But you cannot take the truth and be mad at who tells it to you. So just chill, bruh. Shut the fuck up. Let her say it and receive the information. That's it.
That don't just fuck it. Let's just keep going, man.
Yeah, you're right, brother. Yeah.
Thank you.
Mike, thank you so much for
I
saying what
want
was
you to,
not
but I
gonna
want you
say.
to continue because I was listening.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've been turned into public enemy number one. I say the same thing when I hit every stage. The single motherhood rate in the black community in the 1960s, before Lyndon Baines Johnson started the Great Society Act, was 23%. At that time, that was considered very high. 23% of black people growing up without a father in the home. The single motherhood rate in the black community today is 74%. 74% of our children are growing up without a father in the home. It was Barack Obama, who I don't even really have anything for, who told you what happens when you remove a father from the home. You're 9 times more likely to end up in prison. You're 6 times more likely to drop out of high school, and you're 12 times more likely to lead a life of poverty. Why is nobody talking about father absence, and why do we keep being silenced when we actually do? This is what black conservatism is, by the way. It's really not. It's not that controversial.
So Tip, I'm gonna let you come in a second, but I want to make sure I get Katrina in here, and then we're gonna open this up a little bit, because at some point I hear all of this, but the issue is we still got to elect people and we still got to create power from the local level, state, and national. And so there's a plan that has to be at play for us to be able to deal with some of this stuff. So Katrina, I want to hear from you as you've been engaged in this current administration. What is it about this administration that makes you so confident that it has the ability to deliver what a black community that this president is often in opposition to can't?
Well, I think that's a great question. And it leads to what I said was the biggest gap in the black community, and that is this vacuum of leadership. When I first met President Trump, and I had heard him years before,
Fair use, fair use, fair use.
before he actually ran for office, talk about certain things that I felt were really important to me as a black mother, not just as an American or as a voter. But what he has done since he's been elected is he's proven himself. He has given more money to HBCUs. He just eliminated $300 million of debt from hurricane relief from HBCUs, just gave them another $100 billion more, on top of what no one wants to talk about, like those at MSNBC and CNN, are opportunity zones. There are 9,000 opportunity zones that was established by the Trump administration, including probably 24 counties right here in Atlanta, in this state, in Fulton County, where he has put up hundreds of billions of dollars of investment into black communities, not just impoverished communities, but black communities. And to me, you put your money where your mouth is. This president has done that. So what you should do, all the young people in the room, we've heard we don't have a voice. We hear disenfranchisement. Well, guess what? Who has been in charge of these communities for the last 4 to 5 decades?
Democrats.
Exactly.
So wait a minute, no, wait, because I'm loving where we're
not
going.
accurate.
I'm loving where we're going. And I love the fact that, to me, promise zones sound a whole lot like empowerment zones from the Clintons. And neither party delivered on making sure that legitimate development took place in our communities. And so I'm interested, Tip, in you coming in, especially on this economic piece.
Sure.
How do we begin to...
He ain't gonna address none of that shit.
Nope.
Watch what this dude do. Watch how he get up. And this is why I got a problem with Tip. This is why, like, hearing this dude. Watch.
Deal with that, because the federal government creating zones has normally been the places where gentrification starts first.
Okay, that was my point. I had a question.
You see what I'm saying? He neglected what this man was trying. He literally had what he was trying to do was attack them on their points, but he never made any points himself. He just said a lot of meh. Now watch what he do after my man. He don't even know what my man even said to him, because he was so into his own damn, I'm going to ask them about racism. This is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Young ladies, and you and Candace, we spoke many times, and you're a brilliant young lady.
Pretty much what he said was, fuck what you talk about, bro. I'm about to go ahead and ask them. I'm going to take control of this motherfucking, this podium now. That's what he did.
But my question to you is, how is it that you can support yourself? I mean, that you can support and align with a constituency that will not denounce white supremacy? So that means your son or daughter, or or any of your brothers or any of your family.
Why are we even worried about white supremacy or racism when we got bigger fish to fry right now?
Yeah.
And for him to do what he did, that's why I was like, nah, Ted was on some it was on some bull, man. He was on some BS.
Like, he didn't want, it seemed like he was trying to, what I said earlier, like, accountability. Like, you know what I'm saying? He didn't want to take no accountability, what, you know what I'm saying, what we need to do. You know what I'm saying?
That man asked him a great question. He said, fuck what you talking about, man. I got my own question.
Yeah, man.
If they are caught out there by a policeman who is in a covert, undercover white supremacist and get gunned down, this constituency will have absolutely nothing to say about it.
Please let
So
me
how
answer
can
this
you
question.
support that?
Please
That's
let me
what I
answer
don't
this
understand.
question.
Wouldn't that make him, if he was out there in those streets selling dope to his own people, a black supremacist.
Yep. And we can't, and although what you're saying is a lot of the things that you're saying are absolutely factual, a lot of the things that you're saying have merit, but I can't even get to that before I address
I will address
the
it right now.
disregard
I will
for
address
young
it right
black
now.
lives.
Don't he look like he's sitting in the room with us? Like he in the back.
Right.
I love
and
it.
You will not
I love
speak
it.
up on it at all.
Love this question. I will
All
address
of the
it.
things
T.I.
that you
Now watch this. Now, what she just did was say, I will gladly address it, homie. But he don't want to hear an answer. He's trying to get the crowd. He's there for the crowd.
Yeah.
He out there trying to be like he is on them rap stages and shit like that to get the crowd roused up. He don't want to hear an answer. He don't want to hear somebody address what he had. So that wasn't even a question. What did I tell you he was doing after he asked the question? Pontificating. That's a big word.
Yeah.
That's a big word.
From opportunity zones.
I love that we're talking about white supremacy.
Okay,
I'll
excuse
answer
me.
the question.
I say, excuse me. I didn't.
How he gonna say I said excuse me when you ask somebody a question? What you gonna keep doing? Beating it? That's why I was saying it's not a question.
Yeah. He wanted to make it.
It's not a question. Tell us, I said excuse me. You asked the question.
Yeah.
She said I would gladly. This is why she looking the way she is. They can't see it. But let me move over this way. That's that look. That's the look she got, like this nigga here.
Right.
I'm trying. I am trying. I'm trying. But that's what he did not ask a question to get an answer. He wanted to make it, and all he had to do was just make a damn statement then.
Yeah. He
But
just wanted a statement, yeah.
Right.
Interrupt you, if I may. You talking about opportunity?
Don't they sound like monkeys back there?
They sound like some
sound like
groupies.
chimps. They sound like monkeys back there.
Yeah, baby, tell her.
Zones, and I will never have anything negative to say about the financial benefits, the tax breaks that come from the Republican Party. I'm a rich person, and
You
I
white folk
appreciate.
rich.
You dig what I'm saying?
I'm Negro rich.
Hey, listen. I appreciate all of the different tax breaks and the opportunity zone benefit, but
It's
what
called
we
a crooked clock is right twice
whatever,
a day.
you're
That's
right.
what it's called.
I get that. But what we must understand when we're talking about opportunity zone, and we're giving the credit to the person who pushed that legislation forward, which it started with Tim Scott, a black man who happens to be a Republican out of South Carolina. That's who wrote the legislation and presented it. However, the present president, if you can call him that, he did allow it to go through. But that had to, in order to benefit from opportunity zones, you have to have capital gains taxes. It ain't many black people in these opportunity zones
But they
that
have
have
jobs.
capital gains taxes.
The jobs.
What part
to
is
reap
that?
the benefits of these things. Therefore, it will be billionaire corporations, other people who ain't from these communities, coming in here building shit that we don't need. Doing shit that don't
Okay,
help
so
us.
stop it.
Wait, hold on.
That's all.
Building shit that we don't need, like a trap, a trap museum.
Right. But hey, I take it a step forward. Hey, you really feel that way? Take all your rich niggas friends and tell you like, hey man, let's put our money together and let's build some shit that we really need. Then
He did. He got the motherfuckers to build a trap museum. When you go in here, this room right here.
I want to go there too. I ain't gonna cap, but
that shit is. I'm gonna go to see that, man.
Put this in the history book. That's what we do in the trap.
Right, this is what we do in the trap. We sleep all day. We get up at night. Like old boy, Freeway, crack a 40. What he say? We trap all day and crack a 40 at night. No, he said we trap all night.
Right.
Crack a 40 in when the sun come up.
You're one baking soda away for changing your life.
A trap museum.
Their taxes.
Right.
Now, I've been investing and opportunity.
I ain't got no problem with the trap museum, but you can't be on here talking about some building stuff that we don't need.
You're right. Come on, man. Yeah.
That was very goddamn. That trap museum. You know, the kids are gonna get very far when they go to that museum. They'll be able to, get. Can you imagine? I bet you somebody been there. I wonder what they had as far as like the souvenirs and shit. Like on the keychain, you got a key of cocaine. You got a.
Oh yeah, people posted like water boiling and shit. Got the baking soda. You know what I'm saying? You got the table. You cut the rocks. Yeah, I saw some people post the trap museum.
No, I'm talking about when you go to the. When they be like, if you go to a museum or something, and you can go get the paraphernalia that they have, all of the. You can go get souvenirs and stuff like that. When you go in the stores, I'm pretty sure they had some trap stores in there. You go get like a gram of fake cocaine or crack or something like that.
It's sugar cook. It's sugar candy. What's that? Sugar candy? What's a little sugar candy look like a cigarette?
You get a little.
It's rocks candy and shit.
Zones all my motherfucking life. You know what I'm saying? So I'll be damned if anybody gonna benefit.
I want to go, and I'll let this fool finish what he's saying. But but I want to go because I actually want to see if there's something that you can learn from.
Yeah.
On some real shit, all jokes aside, I actually want to see if there's something where you can actually learn and see what was the purpose of them making that trap museum. I'm
benefit from it, and it ain't gonna be me.
Oh yeah,
But I actually know the need of the community. You have these systems in place, but the people who have the most the most ability to take advantage.
Didn't he ask the question?
Able to take advantage are the people who have absolutely no genuine interest to do anything to support this community that they're coming into. They have there's no real tangible investment. They're just doing it to shelter their tax dollars.
So thank you, Tip. Well, hold on, Katrina. I want Candace to
I see
talk
nothing
about your
wrong
first
with that.
point, and then Katrina, you respond to the second point.
All right, so to tackle the white supremacy thing, your question was a fallacy because you said you insinuated that he has not denounced white supremacy.
He hasn't.
Somebody please go to his Twitter feed right now. Right now, go back to the shootings.
KKK?
He said no, because we got to tell the truth. I do not stop.
Who is the KKK?
Now you're cutting me off, right? There we go. Now we're even.
What he said was that there was good
No,
on both
let me
sides
finish.
of white
Stop.
supremacy. That's
Because
what
you
he
guys
said.
are so
That's
hung
not what he
up
said.
on
That's not what
Charlottesville,
he said.
and nobody heard the entire clip. I want to talk about why we get manipulated. I'm being serious, guys. I'm not even trying to make this like a contentious moment, because this is literally why Black America loses right here. Because we allow people with cameras to go hear a whole speech, like they do this to me all the time. They take out a couple of sentences you said, and they create a whole new headline. And people that were not there get incensed and get emotional and don't actually go back to hear what was actually said in full context. They do it to me all the time. I know they do it to Trump. He has denounced white supremacy so many times. It's something north, somebody counted, of 24 times, and it's on his Twitter feed. So if you want to fact check me, go back to a couple of weeks ago when the shootings happened.
Why is Tim shaking his head? He's not even listening to what she's saying.
He's not even listening. So that's my problem. You coming in here already because you know who she is. You already off rip, ready to debate with her, disagree with her. You know what I'm saying? Instead of coming in here, this is why we can't have real conversations. You know what I'm saying? Once again, we in our feelings. Instead of coming in a situation trying to learn something to really understand this person's point of view, we already come to the situation on tip. You know what I'm saying? Ready to, or one thing about like black people, soon they don't get their way, they disagree with something, they like to overtalk you, be loud and little shit, just to prove a point, but instead of learning some points. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to get far in life if we don't really just sit back and just listen and understand and start looking at other people's point of views. You know what I'm saying? And learning from their point of views. You know what I'm saying? Why this person think this way? This person just ain't thinking this way just to think this way, just to be whatever people like to say, coon or whatever. No, this person really see a real issue that a lot of black people are not seeing. And it's a shame that we know, and this is why this is why we will always be considered quote unquote last place. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. That we had enough of the video right there, man. We
Yeah,
probably
man.
can have a part 2 of it if we ever decide to do it.
now we done with this, man.
Yeah.
Hey,
But
man, we got a lot more topics.
yeah. But actually, when it comes down to us being able to, have discourse with each other as far as like just Americans, man, we got to start learning how to listen to each other and then be able to speak to each other's points. And this is where this right here is. This is it's a demonstration of how far we haven't even become to be able to listen to one another, and then we want everybody else to listen to us. But this is my whole thing. When you got rappers trying to be activists, or you got people that's out there. First and foremost, there's nothing wrong with a rapper trying to be whatever it is that he want to
Exactly.
be. However, don't come up and get into and wear the outfit of an activist, and then when somebody start criticizing you, like, I ain't nobody's activist. I'm not an activist. I'm not a role model. All this. No, when you step into this game and you start wearing that whole "we gotta stick together as black folks," you are what they considered an activist. You may not be an active. You may not be an activist that is actually doing something positive or something that is actually not I ain't gonna use the word positive, but you're not using something. You're not having action with your activism.
Right.
This is what the shit looked like.
Yeah.
Like I said, this was in 2019, and this was the first one. So they got to get better. That was a disaster.
Shout out to Candace though and Killer Mike.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Shout out to all of them.
Yeah, all of them. Yeah, I ain't
all of them.
Discredit nobody.
But
yeah, you're right.
We gotta give, honest the way that we look at it. Like my whole thing is like, I don't hate T.I. I just don't. I'm being critical of how he presented his arguments. And those arguments were not really arguments. He asked her a question and never got her to answer. And then when she actually finally, after he done did that whole doggone, 2 minutes full of just talking about a bunch of nothing, she gets to start talking. What did he do? Don't interrupt me.
Yeah.
She didn't really even interrupt him when he asked the question.
Yeah.
The other lady never did get a chance to even answer the question.
Yeah.
So it got to the point, and then you already know, if people seen it already, they already know what came after that. They were going back and forth, and then Killer Mike came in and said, this is a demonstration of black people arguing about whose master is better. That's when he started going there with that. And I didn't really agree with that part either, man, because he asked the question. She was trying to answer the question. At the end of the day, we got to do better as black folks. The second thing is, though, that audience.
They should have had a private, like it should have been like a private event. Like it should have been a small group. It should have been. If people not cooperate like how they did, like no. If people not gonna cooperate, no.
This is the thing. I was thinking that myself, where like, but man, this is all in America. We got to learn some way, but we got to be critical with it. We have to, like me and you and everybody else, when we see this, at least we got to say, man, we got to do better when it comes down to us having conversation.
Yeah,
we got to do better when it comes down to us being. They should not been in that in that audience. Everybody in that audience, they were treating this like it was a concert.
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure that the other part, they had people performing and all that shit. And you already know how our music is. So if you had T.I. performing after they did it or before they did it, I'm pretty sure it was probably after they did it. I'm not sure. I wasn't there. But if that was the case,
I like my beat.
Right.
I fuck with Tip though, man. But
no doubt.
Yeah,
hey,
but
man, get down, bro. I definitely support it. I like the music. So
yeah, man.
But when we talking about serious stuff like this, man, we just got to do a lot better. We definitely have to be at. We got to put our shit at least on 8 when we are speaking to each other and actually understanding what each other is saying so we can speak to those points. When we asking questions, we ask a question and then wait for the answer. Not doing what he do. And what he did was what most of us do. We would sit back and ask the person a question and then keep talking as if you didn't just ask this person a question, especially when they ready to answer it. I cut myself off and be like, I'm ready for the answer now. He know, and I don't know what he knew at that time, but when you on stage like that, we do what we do. I wonder if he saw it and said, nah, I have to be better. That's why, like, even when Killer Mike pretty much was checking his behavior, but he did it in a diplomatic way. If you hear what he was saying, he actually was speaking more to Tip. Reason being is because that's what a friend do. Like he said, me and Tip was out there. We was out there in the marches and all that and stuff like that because he's trying to get his friends that he break bread with, especially because they got money, which it's a good thing. Get him and everybody else that he got and do what he does. I'm pretty much what I've seen with Killer Mike. It's a start. It's a start. At least he's doing something with the intent to better his people. So I ain't mad at none of this. I'm not mad at the summit. That's why I wanted to do a show on it. I wanted to do this when it came out 2 years ago. Yeah. I don't know why I thought it was time is just slipping by fast, man.
This is only 2 years ago, bro.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But yeah, man, it was a good show, man. I'm starting to see the improvement. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, man, it's a good show, man. And what we know, we're going to be next Saturday.
We're gonna try it on a Saturday or Sunday. If we can do it on a weekday, that'll be cool. That'll be cool where we can rock that.
Yeah, man, it's a marathon, man. Like, we're thankful for the people who's rocking with us, the subscribers, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, man, we almost at 200 subscribers. We only been out for a week, man. So we gonna continue to grow, man, you know what I'm saying, and give y'all the best content, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, good show.
All right, man. So I guess this is it, man. We right there at the 2 hour minute mark. Yeah. And that's pretty cool, man. We did what we needed to do on here. We got this one in the books, man. So tell them where they can follow you again at, man.
Yo, thankful_Robert. That's my Instagram.
And mine is at DJ_Jig Tyte. That's JIGTYTE. It's still pronounced tight, like tight jeans or whatever. And then also go on to the other YouTube channel that is also DJ Jig Tyte. There's no underscore or anything. DJ Jig Tyte, because we're gonna have this video on there also. And what else?
Our Instagram, podcast Instagram.
Why we keep forgetting? That should be the first one.
Yeah, for sure. What we know underscore podcast. And I might be coming out with my own YouTube. I might do some vlogging.
We're gonna be doing it. Shit. Yeah. But all right, man, we about to get up out of here. I appreciate everybody for coming here and paying attention to what we have to say.
Press the wrong button.
That was the button that was supposed to be in right there, man. So we out of here. Yeah. All right, everybody.
Yeah.
Peace.
Peace. What we know.